I'm Dan Gandesha, the founder and CEO of Property Partner. And I was invited here to speak about the future of finance and or financial services. And I think I wanted to start with a comment that it's quite simple, really. I think the future of financial services revolves around, God forbid, putting the user first for a change. Thinking about users' problems and quite simply solving them. Most of the founders that you'll see in the space of financial services or anywhere within technology are simply doing that and usually solving their own problems. And in the case of Property Partner, that's exactly what I was doing. And it goes back many, many years. So back in 2007, I trained to become a chartered accountant in Berkshire with KPMG. And when I moved to London to pursue a new career, I put tenants in my property that I'd bought and became a renter in southwest London. And in the process, those of you that know southwest London, back in 2007, I observed something interesting. There was an area down the road, Balham, which was up and coming. It seems quite silly now when you think about it, but there were nice coffee shops spreading down the road, estate agents popping up, and I thought, look, that's an area that I want to invest. I'm sure many of you have thought that many, many times, and you lacked the time or the money or both. At the time, it was both for me, and that frustration happened many, many times. I saw areas that I wanted to take my view, but I couldn't because I didn't have the time or the capital. Fast forward many years to 2013, and I had the capital. I was looking to buy a small place in Putney in southwest London with my then fiancée, now wife, and we thought we were doing it to live in and realised, hold on a minute, actually we're trying to buy this place that's too small to live in once we have a child, and I now, as you heard, have a one-year-old child on the scene, so didn't buy. And that left me really frustrated. Voice of God is back. So that left me really frustrated now. Had the capital, had a view on the property market, but I was looking to buy this house that didn't make sense for me. So withheld, and I was walking down Upper Richmond Road in Putney, and there was this huge house for sale, and I thought, and imagined a stock ticker symbol on the side of that house. And I thought, why can't it be that simple? Just think about it for a minute. With a stock market, if you want exposure to a specific company, you don't need to buy the whole thing. You can just buy a piece of it. During the period of your ownership, you'll receive an income stream in the form of a dividend. And when you want to sell, you can simply sell on platform at a price that reflects the underlying value of the asset. So hence, Property Partner was born. And what we're building is a global stock exchange for residential property. Our vision is that investors all over the world will be able to invest in property all over the world, have control over which properties they invest in, invest as much or as little as they want, earn an income and trade on platform like they would with a stock market. So a quick why bother slide. It's a big market. Let's take the UK as a case study. Residential as an asset class is £6 trillion. The private rented sector today is rapidly growing, and the subsector is as large almost as the FTSE 100, UK government bonds, and twice the size of commercial property. Does it make sense to invest in? This chart says yes, where you want to be is in the top right-hand corner, low volatility for high returns. That's what residential gives you. So it has a home in a diversified portfolio. I won't dwell on this. So how do we do it? Well, it looks a little bit like this. There are a range of different properties. There's a taster here. Investors can review the range of different properties, fund their user account and click invest. They can invest as little as £50, as much as one user's invested 800,000 for our platform. Every month they receive a share of rental income. Every month we revalue the property and they can trade. Now we launched just over a year ago, and in that time we've had 6,800 investors invest just under £30 million through the platform. Perhaps most excitingly, they've already traded 5.7 million in the resale market, this sort of secondary market, or like a stock exchange. And we funded the acquisition of 183 properties. And this is a good case study. Here, the picture, before I move on, we bought 42 flats in a single transaction. We funded that from 700 investors in 10 minutes. And that's a quote there from some of the press coverage that we got. We're backed by some of Europe's leading investors, so Index Ventures, the backers of Funding Circle, among others. Octopus Investments, deep property experience behind Zoopla, you may recall. Dawn behind iZettle and Seacamp behind TransferWise. We've got on our board also Ed Ray, one of London's FinTech pioneers who co-founded Betfair, and many of you will know John Moulton as well. I guess this last slide, I just wanted to comment on sort of drawing back to this future of financial services. It's really important when we're solving users' problems and we're not bound by what's gone before and what we're doing feels very different, that we also leverage the deep expertise that we have within this ecosystem of financial services. And we're in the financial services space and also property. So I wanted to call out a good example here. Our Director of Property, Robert Weaver, the guy third from the right, he was formerly Global Director of Residential Property at RBS. He ran a £500 million residential fund before that and sits on the board of the British Property Federation. So pulling all of that together, I think the future of financial services means that we will no longer be constrained by what's been done before. We'll use it as a reference point, but we needn't be bound by those reference points for our creativity. And wherever you see a user problem, that is ripe for change, and that change may well be symbiotic and not disruptive. If you think about what we're doing, many of the major high street banks provide the gearing for our loans. We work with many other institutions and startups that you will come across at these sorts of events. But what we're fundamentally solving is the fact that today, investing in property is more like starting a business than making a simple investment. It's extremely painful, and investors can't diversify their risk in the way that they ought to be able to. Thanks very much.